Today we are going to talk about a sliding filament theory. This is a muscle. So this muscle, it is made up of muscle bundles or fascicles. So these muscle bundles or fascicle is same. So these are called as muscle bundles. See, these muscle bundles are also known as fascicles. If you remove this one muscle bundle or a fascicle, you will get to know that it is made up of muscle fibers. So it is made up of what? Each organized skeletal muscle in our body is made up of number of muscle bundles, which are also known as fascicles, held together by a common collagenous connective tissue which is called as fascia. So each of the muscle bundles contains a number of the muscle fibers. Each muscle fibers is lined by a plasma membrane which is called as sarcolemma, enclosing the sarcoplasm. These fascicles are or muscle bundles are held together by a layer which is called as fascia. So the muscle bundles or the fascicles are held together by fascia. So we have seen that a muscle contain muscle bundles or the fascicles. So the muscle fascicles which is made up of muscle fiber. So this is called as muscle bundle or fascicle which is made up of muscle fibers, and these muscle fibers is made up of myofibril. These myofibril contain actin and myosin, which are the contractile protein. So this contains what? Actin and myosin, which are the contractile proteins of the muscles. The muscle fibers is a syncytium as the sarcoplasm contains many nuclei, because the sarcoplasm, which is also known as otherwise cytoplasm, so in muscles this is known as sarcoplasm. So the sarcoplasm, it contains many nuclei, that is why it is known as syncytium, these muscle fibers. The endoplasmic reticulum, that is also known as sarcoplasmic reticulum of the muscle fibers, is a storehouse of the calcium. So this sarcoplasmic reticulum, it contains a calcium. So when the impulse is released for the muscle contraction, this sarcoplasmic reticulum release a calcium ion which is required for the muscle contraction. The characteristic features of the muscle fibers is the presence of large number of parallelly arranged filaments in the sarcoplasm, which is called as myofilaments or the myofibrils. I have already discussed about these, that the myofibrils, it contains a myofilament. So they contain what? Myofilament. And what are these myofilament? These myofilament are actin and the myosin, which are the contractile proteins of the muscles. So each of the myofibrils has alternate dark and the light band on it. So these myofibrils, they contains alternate dark and the light band, like this, alternatively arranged. See, dark and the light band. A detailed study of the myofibril has established that a striated appearance is due to the distribution patterns of these two important proteins, that is called as actin and the myosin. So that is why the skeletal muscle, it appears striated, because of the presence of the alternative distributions of the actin and the myosin. The light band contain actin and it is called as I band or isotrophic band. So the light band, it contain what? Actin. Whereas the dark band, it contain called as A or anisotrophic band contain a myosin. So the light band, it contain actin, and the dark band, it contain myosin. So both the proteins are arranged in a rod-like structure parallel to each other, and also the longitudinal axis of the myofibril. So they are arranged parallelly. Actin filament is thinner as compared to the myosin filament. So myosin is a thick filament and actin is a thin filament. This center line which is present, it is called as M line, which holds the thick filament like this. So the Z line is a zigzag line which holds the thin filament. See, in this way. So between the two successive Z line, there is a functional unit which is present. The functional unit of contraction which is known as sarcomere. So between these two successive Z line, there is a functional unit which is present. It is the sarcomere. So when a central part of the thick filament, so this is a central part of the thick filament which is not overlapped by the thin filament, is called as H zone. So this is a H zone, and this is the I band where there is only actin or a thin filament which is present, that is called as I band. And thick filament where there is a overlap is also present, but this consists of whole of the myosin or the thick filament which is called as A band. So this we have seen during the resting state. So during the contraction of the muscle, this overlapping between the thick and the thin filaments takes place. There is a more overlapping which is noted, and these Z lines which comes together, and the sarcomere size will get decreased. So these which we have seen, the Z line, they will come closer like this. So this will come closer during the contraction of the muscle, and the sarcomere length, it will also get decreased. And the H zone which is present, it will also get decreased during the contraction of the muscles. Hence are commonly called thin and thick filament respectively. In the center of the I band is an elastic fiber which is called a Z line which bisect it. So the thin filaments are firmly attached to the Z line. The thick filament in an A band are also held together in the middle of this band by a thin fibrous membrane which is called as M line. So the A and the I band are arranged alternatively throughout the length of the myofibrils. So a portions of the myofibril between the successive Z line is considered as a functional units of the contraction which is called as sarcomere. See, this is a Z line which is a zigzag line. So the Z line, to the Z line there is thin filaments which are attached, and in the center there are thick filament which are present. So this is called as A band. So the portion which covers the thick filaments or the myosin, it is called as A band. The portion which consists of only thin filament, it is known as I band. See, here there is no overlapping. So only thin filament is present which is called as I band. And the portion which consists of only thick filament is known as H zone. So this is a relaxed state. In the resting state, the edge of the thin filaments on either sides of the thick filament is partially overlapped. The free ends of the thick filaments leaving the center parts of the thick filament. So this is a Z line. So this is a Z line. In the center there is called as M line which is present. So this is M line. So the M line, to the M line, these are thick filament which is present. See, like this the thick filaments are attached to it. So let's take some other color. We can take red color. So these are our thin filaments which are attached like this. You can see. So this portion which consists of only the thick filament, it is called as H zone. And the portion, see, between the two successive Z line is called as sarcomere. And the portion which consists of this much, see, this much portion, it is known as a band. So we have seen that each of the actin filament is made up of two F filamentous actin which are helically wound to each another. So we in green we can see that there are two F actin which are helically wound to each another. So each F actin is a polymer of a monomery G that is called as globular actin. Two filaments of another protein that is called as tropomyosin. You can also see which runs close to the F actin throughout its length. So this is called as tropomyosin which is in orange in color. So the two filaments of another protein that is called as tropomyosin which also run close to the F actin throughout its length. A complex protein which is present, it is called as troponin, which is distributed at an regular intervals of a tropomyosin. So in blue which I have marked is the troponin which is present or which is distributed at a regular interval of the tropomyosin. So in the resting state, what happens is that the subunit of the troponin mask the active binding sites of the myosin on the actin filament. So we can see in the green which is each of the actin filament is made up of 2F filament. So this is called as 2F, that is called as filamentous actin which is helically wound to each other. Each F actin is a polymer of the monomeric G that is called as globular actin. So two filaments of another protein in two filaments of another protein that is called as tropomyosin runs close to the F actin throughout its length. A complex protein which is called as troponin is distributed at a regular interval to the tropomyosin. So which we can see. So actually this is a F actin that is which is green in color. So close to it is running which is called as tropomyosin which is in orange in color, and distributed troponin on the tropomyosin which we can see. So what happens during the resting state? During the resting state, a subunit of the troponin masks active binding sites for the myosin on the actin filament. So let's see how does this happens. This is a actin, okay, actin, and this is a myosin. So during resting state, a subunit of the troponin, so a subunit of a troponin, so this is a troponin, suppose this is a troponin which is binding. So what will happen during a resting state? This troponin has masked this actin, because of which mask the active site of the actin. Because of this myosin which is present, this is a myosin, it cannot bind with the actin. So for to remove these we require a calcium. So once calcium comes, so calcium will remove this, and this actin filament can easily bind with the active sites. Sorry, the myosin filament can easily bind with an actin. Each myosin thick filament is also a polymerized protein. Many monomeric proteins called as meromyosin constitute a thick filament. So each meromyosin has a two important part, a globular head. See, this consists of two important part which is called as globular head with a short arm and a tail, the former being called a heavy meromyosins and later being called as light meromyosin. So the former meaning the head which consists of the short arm. So you can see it has a crossed arm which are present. So and the tail which is present to it. The meromyosin, it consists of a short arm and a tail. The former it is called as heavy meromyosin and the later is called as light meromyosin. The heavy meromyosin components, that is the head and the short arm, project outward at a regular distance and angle from each other from the surface of the polymerized myosin filaments, which is known as cross arm. So this is called as cross arm. This portion which is present, it is called as cross arm. So there is called as active binding site which is present. This is the active binding sites, and there is a ATP binding site. So this is a ATP binding sites, and this is a actin binding site. So this meromycin, it consists of a head, it consists of a cross arm, it has actin binding sites and a ATP binding site. Each myosin filaments, that is called as thick filaments, is a polymerized protein. So many monomeric protein, that is called as meromycin, it constitute one of the thick filament. So each meromycin has two parts. It has a globular head and it has a short arm and the tail. The former, it is called as heavy meromycin, and later is known as light meromycin, which we have already seen. The heavy meromycin, it is the head, and the short arm, it projects outward. So it will project like this outwards at a regular distance and angle from each other from the surface of a polymerized myosin filaments, which is known as cross arm. So this is known as crossed arm. The globular head is an active ATPase enzyme and has a binding site. So here there is a presence of an ATPase, that is called as ATP binding sites, and here on top of it there is a actin binding site which is present. Mechanism of muscle contraction. Mechanism of muscle contraction is best explained by the sliding filament theory, which states that contraction of the muscle fibers takes place by sliding of the thin filament over the thick filament. So there is a sliding which will takes place. Suppose this is a thick filaments and this is a thin filaments. They slides on each another, which is called as sliding filament theory. So sliding of the thin filaments over the thick filaments, very much important. Muscle contraction is initiated by a signal which is sent to the central nervous system. So this is a central nervous system which will send a signal via the motor neuron. The motor neuron along with the muscle fibers connected to it constitute a motor unit. The junction between the motor neuron and the sarcolemma of the muscle fibers is called as neuromuscular junction, which we have already discussed in our previous video, or it is called as motor end plate. A neural signal reaching this junction releases a neurotransmitter that is called as acetylcholine, so which generates an action potential in the sarcolemma. So this will generates an action potential in the sarcolemma. These spread through the muscle fibers and cause a release of an calcium ion into the sarcoplasm. So we know that from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, calcium which is released. So from these, the calcium is released. So what will happen? So there is a nerve impulse which is generated. So the neurotransmitters are released and they will spread through the muscle fibers and they will cause the release of the calcium ion from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Increase in the calcium level leads to the binding of the calcium with the subunits of a troponin on the actin filaments and thereby remove the masking of the active sites for the myosin. Utilizing the energy for ATP hydrolysis, myosin head is now bind to an exposed active sites of an actin to form the cross bridge. So this will pulls the attached actin filaments towards the center of the A band. So let's consider this as a myosin and this as a actin. So on the actin there is a troponins which are present. So they are masking the actin, because of which the active sites of the actin is masked and the myosin filaments cannot bind to the actin filament. So these cannot bind because of the presence of the troponin. Once the calcium is released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, this will unmask the actin and causing the actins, and this will cause the actin active site to be free and this can easily bind with an actin. So there will be this is actin which is present and this is a myosin. So myosin can easily bind with this because there is no obstruction or there is no presence of the troponin, you can see, by the utilizing an energy of ATP hydrolysis. So myosin head will now bind to an active site. See, here there is no presence of the troponin. Troponin is removed by the calcium. So easily actin and the myosin can bind. So myosin head will easily bind to the active sites of an actin. This is a myosin binding site. So, and like this is the actin present. So here there is a troponin which is present, so which is masking the actin, and because of which the active sites which is present of the actin is masked and the myosin head cannot bind to this actin. So once the calcium is released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, this will remove this tropomyosin, and the head of the myosin can easily bind with an active sites of an actin with utilizing an energy from the ATP hydrolysis. So this will form a cross bridge, and this pulls the attached actin filaments towards the center of the band. So this will pulls it towards the center like this. The Z line attached to this actin is also pulled inwards, thereby causing a shortening of a sarcomeres, that is the contraction. It is clear from the above step that during the shortening of the muscle, that is during the contraction, the I bands get reduced, whereas the A bands retain its length. So A band will retain its length, it will be the same length, but I band will get reduced. The myosin releasing the ADP and P1 goes back to its relaxed state. A new ATP binds and the cross bridge is broken. So once the cross bridge which was formed like this between the myosin head and the actin filament, the cross bridge is broken. So the ATP is again hydrolyzed by the myosin head, and the cycle of cross bridge formation and the breakage is repeated, causing a further sliding, and this will cause it sliding, that is sliding of the thin filaments over the thick filament. The process continues till the calcium ion is pumped back to its sarcoplasmic cisternae, resulting in masking of the actin filament. So once this calcium is going back to its storehouse, that is called as sarcoplasmic reticulum, that means again the masking of the actin will takes place. Again the actin which is present, it will get masked like this, and the myosin head will not able to bind with it. So once again this calcium is going back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and which is its storehouse, and again there is a masking of the troponin to the active sites of the actin will takes place. This causes a return of the Z line back to its original position, that is called as relaxation from contraction. So this is how the Z lines were present, no? So see, like this, first they were present, then they are coming closer, during which the sarcomere length will get decreased and contraction will take place. But now this process as again shifted back, so that means the sarcomere will retain its length, and there will be relaxation which will takes place. Sarcomere will get back to its original position. So the reaction time of the fibers can vary in different muscle. Repeated activations of the muscle can lead to accumulation of the lactic acid due to the anaerobic breakdown of the glycogen in them, causing a fatigue. Because of the repeated activity, the lactic acid which will present, it will get accumulated, and this can cause fatigue. Muscle contain a red color oxygen storing pigment which is called as myoglobin which contain red color oxygen storing pigment. Myoglobin content is high in some of the muscles, which gives its reddish appearance. You can see your palm appears most of the time reddish. Why? Because it contains more of the myoglobin. Such muscles are called as red fibers. The muscles also contains a plenty of mitochondria. So these myoglobins which are present, which are known as red fibers, they contain plenty of mitochondria which can utilize a large amount of the oxygen stored in them for ATP production. These muscles therefore is called as aerobic muscles. On the other hand, there are Some of the muscles which possesses a very less quantity of myoglobins, these appear pale or whitish. These are called as white fibers. Number of the mitochondria is also few in them, but the amount of the sarcoplasmic reticulum is high. So they depend on an aerobic process for the energy. So red fibers, they depend on aerobic process. White fibers, they depends on the anaerobic process for the energy. White fibers, they contain less numbers of mitochondria. Red fibers contain more numbers of the mitochondria.